These are the most exciting book releases happening in 2024. I've been dealing with a massive issue lately, and what might this issue be, you ask? Well, some might refer to it as a reading slump. I have been in a little bit of a reading slump since probably the beginning of December of last year. I don't know why I had it in my brain that when it turned January, my whole life and my whole brain was just going to reset and I would no longer have this issue and I would be excited about reading again. That lasted for about 3 days in the new year, and then I decided to just reread all of Sarah J. Maas's books ever. And now I'm at the point where even that really isn't satiating the craving that I have for a really good book. So I decided we should look up some 2024 releases to inspire me to maybe feel happiness again. Without further ado, here are 23 books to be excited about to read in 2024. So starting off strong, we're just going in date order. We have Fae Bound by Sarah L. Arifi. This book is coming out on January 23rd, so very soon. This is a high fantasy adult novel, and I have to say, as much as I respect the grind and the hustle of being overly dramatic about a fantasy book, I respect the art of being really way too into it. I just have to wonder, is it ever really this serious? So in Fae Bound, we have two elven sisters. One of the sisters is a elven warrior that is leading the elven armies in this book, and the other sister is a diviner, so she deals in telling prophecies and stuff. One of the sisters makes a fatal mistake because, of course, and they are dragged into the Fae realm as prisoners of the Fae. I'm hoping that there's going to be at least a romance subplot in this book, because although I do appreciate all types of fantasy, and there are some fantasy books that I love that basically have no romance, when Fae are involved, my brain is just conditioned at this point to need a romance subplot. I blame Sarah J. Maas, I blame Holly Black. I am really excited for this book because I'm needing some new Fae content. We have Sarah J. Maas, we have Holly Black, but no one else is really doing it like them. So I'm gonna give Sarah L. Arifi a chance. I have not read any of her other books, but the cover and the title of this book are very intriguing to me, so I have high expectations. I don't really know why, but I do. And I'm confident, why I don't know, but I'm confident that this book is going to deliver. Next, on January 30th, I feel like you should know what I'm going to say. We have House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the Crescent City series, so I'm not really going to go into the premise of the third book specifically because obviously if you haven't read the first two books then I would really be spoiling a lot of things. However, I will say that I could write a full-length dissertation on why Crescent City is literally just Zootopia for adults, but we'd be here all day and that's not the purpose of today's video, maybe later. There's fae, there's romance, there's vampires, there's mermaids, there's witches, there's werewolves. And after the ending of the second Crescent City book, House of Sky and Breath, if you know, you know, I am eagerly awaiting this book. I am salivating. I am gnawing at the iron bars in my enclosure for this book. Moving on to February releases. So on February 6th, we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is the book that we need, but we don't deserve. Ali Hazelwood saw us, she said that we were hungry, and she decided to feed us. And for that, we should be grateful. This book, I honestly was kind of shook when the release information about this book came out because this is not at all what I was expecting from Ali Hazelwood. I love all of her STEM romances, but this is going to be a marriage of convenience, paranormal romance between a vampire and a werewolf. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. Written by Ali Hazelwood, if I didn't say that already. So our romance is between Misery, iconic name, by the way. Our romance is between Misery, who is the daughter of an infamous vampire councilman, and the alpha of the local werewolf pack. To say that I am excited for this book is a gross understatement. I love Ali Hazelwood's books to a point that is probably a little bit unhealthy. My reactions to Love Theoretically last year take giggling and kicking my feet to unprecedented heights. Also on February 6th, we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. Now, I'm going to go ahead and expose myself because I have not read a Kristen Hanna book yet. However, I'm going to trust you guys and say that she is the queen of historical fiction, and she has a new book coming out this year. This book is set in 1965. Obviously, it's titled The Women, which caught my attention right away because I don't really care about men unless they have big bat wings, and they're written by Sarah J. Maas. Our main character in this book is Frances McGrath. Like I said, this book is set in 1965. She is a nursing student who breaks societal expectations by joining the Army Nurse Corps during the Vietnam War. I think this book is kind of an exploration of what it is like for Frances to be a woman who has joined the war effort. That sounds really interesting to me. I know that Kristen Hanna books can kind of be depressing, so I'm gonna save this one for when that is the energy that I need. Now, on February 13th, we have a book that I am stupidly excited for, and that is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. If you follow me on TikTok, then you would know I would do some depraved things for a new, good Dark Academia book. Now, we won't get into those things today, but you can use your imagination. An Education in Malice is set at St. Perpetua's College in Massachusetts. I don't know if that is a real college or not. I am just now realizing that. I think this is going to be an LGBTQ slay boots Dark Academia book, and I'm really excited for that. Our two main characters are Laura and Camilla, who are deep in an academic rivalry together. Absolutely love that. There's politics, there's bloodthirsty professors, and there's dark magic. I'm excited. Next, we actually have another release happening on February 13th. That is the Frame Up by Gwenda Bond. I am especially excited for this book because if you guys don't know this about me, and I don't know why you would, my special kind of niche interest is in art theft. The first book that I read this year was actually The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. You guys are getting a bonus book recommendation right now. I highly recommend this book. It was fascinating. Anyway, I digress. I think this is going to be like a fun fantasy magical take on an art heist, which I'm so excited for. I don't think we have enough books like that. So in this book, we have a magically gifted con artist as our main character who has to gather her estranged mother's old crew for a once-in-a-lifetime heist. I am so excited for this. I haven't heard anyone else talk about it. I saw Penguin post about it on their website because they are the publisher, and I'm hype. Okay, again on February 13th, we have lots of book releases on February 13th. We have The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. Catherine Arden also wrote The Bear and the Nightingale, which is kind of like a haunting, like Russian-inspired fantasy. I'm really hoping that The Warm Hands of Ghosts kind of delivers on that same vibe. It takes place during World War I. Our main character is a combat nurse who believes that her brother is dead. However, they're kind of eerie, ghosty signs suggesting otherwise, which I love. So this is really like a paranormal historical novel, which I feel like is pretty rare, and I'm really excited to see what she does with this. Then on February 20th, we have one of my most anticipated releases for 2024, and that is A Timbus of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. Our main character in A Timbus of Tea is Arthi, who is a criminal mastermind who owns a tea house, which basically turns into like a prohibition style illegal blood house for vampires by night. When her establishment undergoes a threat, Arthi is forced to infiltrate the infamous vampire society. I don't know what it is about this book that I'm so excited for. I feel like vampires are kind of having their renaissance moment in 2024 with this book and Bride, and there are a few others that kind of center around vampires. I think it also has something to do with how gorgina this cover is. It is literally stunning, beautiful, perfect. 10s all across the board. February is going to be a great month for me, at least, because we have another one of my most anticipated releases coming out on February 27th, and that is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. The publishers are not playing around with these covers of books coming out in 2024. Most all of them are like literally perfect and gorgeous. This book is a Norse-inspired fantasy romance with a forbidden love trope. I'm really hoping that this book really serves on the Norse mythology front, but we'll see. Our main character Freya is trapped in an unwanted marriage in which she discovers her magical abilities as a shield maiden. Now, do I know what a shield maiden is? Absolutely not. Am I excited to find out what that means? Yes, of course. Moving on to our March book releases. On March 5th, we have The Tower by Flora Carr coming out. Where are all my Tudor era girlies at? This is a reimagining of the story of Mary Queen of Scots when she is stuck in the tower. I am so excited for this. This is also one of my like little niche special interests. I love anything Tudor era, so I am so excited for this book. Also on March 5th, we have Anita Damonte Last by Social Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Circling back to my art theft obsession that I was discussing earlier, I believe this book starts off in 1985 when Anita DeMonte, who is a rising star in the New York art world, is found dead. We then flash forward to 1998 when a third-year art student named Raquel decides to uncover the mysteries behind Anita DeMonte's past. On March 19th, we have Rules for Rule Breaking by Talia Tucker coming out. I am so excited for this book. This is a YA romance with an academic rivals trope. I believe this book is also kind of a forced proximity trope because in Rules for Rule Breaking, two Korean American teens are forced into a shared college visit road trip where they realize that maybe they are more alike than they thought. I just think that this book is going to be so cute, and also again with the covers, I know I keep saying this, but like, hello, this is literally art. Moving on to April, of course, on April 2nd, we have Abby Jimenez's new release, which is Just for the Summer. And Just for the Summer, we have two singles, Justin and Emma, who both believe that they are cursed, and that's why they haven't found romantic success yet. They decide to basically try to trick fate and cancel out their curses by planning a fake breakup. This is just going to be the perfect summer romance. I won't get into it, but again, the cover, hello, and I'm just so excited for it. April 2nd is going to be a fantastic day for me in particular because we also have Holly Jackson's new book coming out on April 2nd, and that is The Reappearance of Rachel Price. This is another YA mystery thriller book. I ate up the A Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy with a spoon. I literally finished each book in like a day, I think, or maybe less. Our main character in this book is 18-year-old Belle, whose mother was presumed dead long ago. Belle decides to do a true crime documentary about her mother's death, and suddenly, as soon as she starts doing this documentary, her mother reappears, hence The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I know I keep saying this about every one of these books, but I am genuinely so excited for this book. I know I'm gonna read it in like one sitting and then be really sad because it's over and it'll be like at least a year probably until we get another Holly Jackson release, but just let me have this for now. On April 9th, we have Leigh Bardugo's new book, which is The Familiar. Again, I'm so excited for this book. That's why this video is titled Anticipated Releases, but we haven't gotten a new Leigh Bardugo book in a while. Her most recent release was Hellbent, so we haven't gotten like a new series, a new premise for a book from her in a long time, and she is one of my favorite authors. This is an adult historical, I think, fantasy set in Madrid, Spain. I know that this book is going to have a lot of political intrigue. There's a war between Spain and England going on, and I just can't wait to see what Leigh does with this. I think it'll be really fun if it's more of a dark fantasy because I feel like that is what she really delivers on, so can't wait for this one. This next act needs no introduction, and that is A Funny Story by Emily Henry coming out on April 23rd. You guys probably already know the premise of this book, but if you don't, all you need to know is roommate romance. Period. There's not more to say. Next, on April 25th, we have the only non-fiction book on this list, and that is the Swans of Harlem by Karen Valby. And this is the story of a kind of pioneer group of 5 black ballerinas living in Harlem. It details their 50-year sisterhood and friendship. I am so excited for this book. I think this is going to be so interesting. 2024 is truly a holy and blessed year because we are getting not one, but 2 Ali Hazelwood books. On June 11th, we have Not in Love, of course, by Ali Hazelwood coming out. This is the 4th installment in Ali Hazelwood's STEM romance series. I've said it a million times, I'll say it again. I absolutely love this series. This one has sort of like a secret affair trope going on, I think, and I really don't need to know anything. I literally could just see the cover and I'm sad. I will be tuning in. Moving on to July, we have Nicked by M.T. Anderson. I haven't heard anyone talk about this book. I just saw this on Penguin's website. So this is supposed to be kind of a funny adult debut novel about the quest to steal the mythical bones of this long ago dead saint. I'm gonna be honest, I was really attracted by the cover of this book. Reading the premise definitely does sound interesting to me. I want to give this one a shot, see what I think. Now moving on to August, we have one of my most anticipated releases for 2024, and that is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed. This is coming out on August 6th, and this cover, I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about the cover again. This is literally my favorite book cover to come out probably in the last 5 years. Something about the hot pink and the font and the art, it's just so good. Now, I haven't read the story yet, obviously, because it's not out, but I just feel like the cover immediately conveys the vibe that you can expect from the story. This story is a fantasy retelling of the infamous Shakespeare character, Lady Macbeth, and I could not be more excited. I'm so hyped for this book. Listen, Ava Reed, I'm not sure who's publishing this book, but whoever is publishing this book and Ava Reed, if you want to send me an early copy, I would not complain. I'm just saying. Now, moving on to September releases, we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I read her book, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, last October. It was so cozy, it was so fun, it was so witchy. We know I love witchy books, and it really got me in the Halloween witchy vibe, so I am so excited for this release. I'm probably going to save it for October. So this is going to be, I think, a romance between a witch running like a sort of magical inn in Lancashire. Something is going on with her powers, and as she is eager to restore them, she enlists the help of a magical historian named Luke. I know it's going to be quirky, I know it's going to be fun, it's going to be wholesome. I'm so ready. On September 17th, we have A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft coming out, again with the beautiful covers. Did I even need to say it? You already knew that was coming. Our main character in this book is a folklorist. Her name is Lorelei, and she is leading an expedition to find this magical spring. However, when her mentor on this expedition is murdered, it really raises the stakes for Lorelei to find this spring. This is giving like haunting, gothic fantasy, and I'm so excited that it is coming out during fall. I know that I'm gonna be like foaming at the mouth for this. We have arrived at our very last book on this list, which is coming out on September 27th, and that is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This is the third book in the Maple Hills series, the first book being Icebreaker, the second book being Wildfire. You guys already knew that. Now, this book is following Henry, who is everybody's favorite hockey player in the Maple Hills world. This romance is between him and a student he meets that offers to be his private tutor. I think we're all collectively going to be giggling and kicking our feet over that, and I'm just excited for that. So those are all of the releases that I am most excited for in 2024. If you guys want to stay up to date on my book recommendations and the releases that are coming out in 2024, make sure that you follow my TikTok. I'll have it linked down below, and my Instagram also down below. Subscribe if you haven't already for more bookish content, and I will see you guys in the next one.